My wife opened my eyes on how my parents have always mistreated me. Now they hate us both. I'm 40 years old, and my parents are 75 and 78. At such an age as I am, the majority of people, I believe, are quite independent from all of their relatives, and they're responsible for their own life choices. But it's just not my case. My parents have always hated my wife, Anne, and even my kids, and I had no explanation for it, up until recently. I explained more about my family background, saying, I have 11 siblings, and I am the oldest among them. All of them have their own families, and my parents have been just fine with it. But with my family, everything turned another way. Both my mom and dad have been very resentful about me starting my own family, and they always insisted that I need to remain single, that it's good for me, and they know it for sure. I moved out from my parents' house when I was 20, but I still came to visit them very often, and I spent a lot of time at their place. I had not dated much when I was younger. When I was 25, I met Anne, and we started dating. We fell in love very fast and got married a year later. All of my siblings love Anne. She is a wonderful cook and a perfect hostess. Our house has become a hangout spot. We have now been married for 15 years and have 2 kids. We have 12 kids in the family, and my younger sister, Jane, is just a year younger than me. So, since Jane and I were the oldest, we always helped with the smaller kids and the chores around the house. In fact, it was absolutely normal for my parents to refer to us as Nick and Jane and the kids. It all was like Jane and I were not children at all. It was more like we were 2 other adults living in the house. We were homeschooled, so we were home all the time. I would wake up every day, make breakfast for all the kids, then help them get ready for their school or any other activities before I started my own schoolwork. Jane's job was to help mom at night with the baby, and in our family there was always a baby. Jane and I did absolutely all chores around the house. I revealed that we took turns either cleaning the kitchen or doing the laundry, and there was always a lot of laundry. I did all the man's stuff, like mowing the yard and taking out the garbage. As I grew older, I would pass some of these chores to my younger brothers, but it was still my responsibility to control while it was getting done. When I was old enough to drive, I started to run errands and take all my siblings everywhere. I can't tell you how many times I took them to play dates or doctor's appointments. I was also the person who would tuck the smaller kids in bed and tell them fairy tales. These things were all just normal to me. In our family, I was more like a dad to the kids than a brother. My parents always said how important it was for Jane and I to help with the younger kids because mom and dad were so busy with their own stuff. Multiple times I had to drop what I was doing to take care of something because mom or dad were advising someone. When I got married, my parents and Jane did not like Anne. Now, Jane and Anne get along just fine, but Anne and my mom still have a very tense relationship. My dad liked my wife at first, but over the past few years, their relationship has also soured. Throughout the years, my situation with my family didn't improve a lot. My dad has made comments multiple times about how I should keep up my responsibilities. Once, he even called me about one of my younger siblings, who had a fight with mom, and said speak to your brother and make him change his attitude. The way he treated your mom is very bad, and you need to make him apologize. Our home is always open to my siblings, but at one point we refused to discipline my younger siblings, and my parents didn't take it well. Some time ago, Anne injured her feet and couldn't walk for some time. When she was already getting better, I was diagnosed with a severe kidney disease. It then turned into a hard kidney failure. I underwent several surgeries and it's been a rough year. All this time, my parents completely refused to help, and they were actually trying to make things even harder for us. They promised to help with our kids, but then canceled at the last minute. Anne and I had a serious talk about everything, and Anne told me what she actually saw in my family. My wife told me that she saw how my parents mistreated me all this time. In her opinion, it was because they parentified me in my childhood, and now they hated both Anne and our kids because they felt they were taking me away from them. When I became occupied with my own family, I helped them less and less, and I didn't take their burdens and didn't solve their problems as vigorously as I did it when I was single. Anne revealed one more thing to me that made me totally petrified. She said that my mom once approached her and offered her a big sum of money, and Anne had to leave me and take the kids away from me, too. Of course, Anne declined this offer. Now, I am fuming, and I don't want to maintain any contact with my parents. I tried to talk to them once about everything, but my mom had a meltdown and imitated a heart attack, so I was forced to end the uncomfortable conversation. I have never thought that what my parents actually did to me was destructive in so many ways. The things I considered normal were actually ruining me as a personality and took a toll on my family life later. My situation raises a lot of questions about family dynamics and personal boundaries. What do you think I should do? Should I confront my parents again or cut ties for the sake of my own mental health and family? Share your thoughts and advice for me in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective.